Hi everyone, good morning. Are you good? Maybe you cheer us when we go play football. Eh? How many of you have ever played football? Why aren't you and Uganda Cranes happy? Like, huh? Yeah? You love basketball more than football. Me, I'm a footballer. There's also another game I like, but I don't know. Which one? Who is asking which one now? What are you saying? But are you okay? Having a good time? If you don't like what we are doing, you tell us it's a lot of nonsense. Hi, Beth. Good morning. Are you okay, madam? Okay. Zahara. Bin. What's the other name? Zadin. Eh? Bidin, yeah, okay. Are you good? Josephine? You okay? Sunita? You're good? Or you newcomer Kennedy, so yeah, Mani. Or why is okay or not, that's none of my business. Diana, what's up? You good? Lisa? Mariam Mundagire? Where is Mariam Mundagire? Huh? I want to have my hard disk working so well. Zawi, the only film producer that has 3 movies. First wave to everyone. Stand up and wave to everyone. Okay, she challenged us, but we have a movie on Amazon. She doesn't have it there. So, I hope we're good. And I hope we're going to have a good day. Marion, how are you, my friend? You're good? Stisha? Hi. What's up? Where is Elizabeth? Yeah. Are you good? You sure my hard disk works, I have some RAM, some good GBs of RAM. I didn't get your name, if you will. What's your name? Peter, what's why you're a twin, What's her name? You're the Mariam. I've been looking for you and you didn't even say. Mariam, the guy, have your name on my hard disk. Now I like your innovation, if you will, but I also tell you that it is not new. So no one should tell you that you are inventing. So you have to work so hard because people want that business a lot, It's proof that there is demand for the kind of service, but don't come telling us it's an invention. It's an innovation, So make sure you beat the others on the market. I don't know whether you've heard about Medmo, have you? Medmo is already working so well in Lira and in Gulu, So whatever we're creating, we have to make sure we beat any other standard that there is, I'm saying this because I want you to do better than them. We mentored them, but it is okay for you to beat them. So, what do you want us to talk about today? Anything that you want us to talk about in a few minutes? Yeah? Who wants to fundraise for them today? We force everyone to fundraise some money. Now, who wants some money on your wallet? We tell someone to send money to it. It was Marion who raised her hand first. It was Marion, she's behind. How much money do you want on your wallet? 100,000. Who wants to send 100,000 to Marion? No, let's fundraise. Let's fundraise and see how much we can send to her number. Yeah? Yeah? You also need. I know she raised up. I forgot your name. You are Bridget? Hey, I know you are HiPipo on the other side. So, where is UTL? Was it Elizabeth? Yeah? Yeah. UTL was Maureen, Okay. Where is MTN? Oh, it was Comhanj. Where is Airtel? It is you. Okay, Zahara. Okay, where is who is Laika? Where is Leica is a big network in the UK, yeah? So just because they are playing low in Uganda, but they are big in the UK, Paul will tell you, where is Centenary Bank? Joseph, in your Centenary, please send money to Marion. Where is Standard Chartered? Stanbic? Oh, Mariam, you are Standard Chartered. Where is Stanbic? Yeah? Where is Stanbic? Huh? Stanbic is not present. Okay. I don't want to say things about those that are not present, but Agam, our FinTechs, and each person. Okay. So you can realize my hard disk works a certain way. What have I forgotten? Eh? Yeah, Safaricom. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't forget Safaricom. They started this conversation of mobile financial services. They are pioneers. But you know what we have as a blessing among us is that among the people that we work with closely for the last about 14 years are people who kickstarted the conversation of Safaricom. So we are pioneers at the same time and conversation, right? So very happy to see you here today again. I see you all looking good in that purple. It's not a uniform, eh? It is, we call it, what do they call it? Nago, eh? Right? Eh? There is a name they call it, but I see you all looking good, and I am excited that we are getting to day 2, and we're going to have conversations about making sure all of us win. Not so? I didn't talk to you yesterday for a single minute. What's your name, madam? Eh? Anita. And the other? Huh? Ayachin. Anita, can you shout? Like shout. Yeah, just shout. Say what you want. Say. No, shout. Can you shout, Anita? Did I speak to you, sir? Huh? Huh? Okay. What's your name, sir? Eh? Kawes. Patrick. And you, madam? Eh? Maureen. Okay. Happy to see you all. So, our telecoms, our mobile money operators, our banks, and our fintechs and aggregators, we are happy to see you, and every other bank that you are, eh? Safaricom, UTL. UTLism send doesn't work so well. So UTL, you have to work on something. But I want to use a few minutes to take us through something that looks like, forget about that woman. She's just, you're actually better than her in many ways, so forget about her. So I want us to shed some light on the things that happen in the places where we have to innovate. And I want us to talk about FinTech in a way that makes sense to all of us here today. So yesterday, the last session we had Paul talking about the payment service provider and what else? What is 3 PPI in full? No. 3 PPI. Marion, when you say 3 PPI in full, I send you 100,000 now. Yeah, 3 PPI. When you say it in full, who can say it in full? Now, why do you guys have AI? Why do you have AI? Now, for me at home, they call me, Camila calls me AI. Why? Because whatever I think about, there is a solution on the internet. Okay? As a response to us being innovators, one of the things we have to do is we have to become proactive to anything technology. Yeah? For any solution you want to have, any answer, any conversation, there is something about it on internet. You can, for anything, yeah? So someone search for 3PPI. Yes, Diana.
Third-party payment initiation.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Diana. We're not going to clap for you. You can imagine. So 3PPI is third-party payment initiator. And we're talking about the PISP. What is PISP in full? Okay. Okay, I don't want this to feel like a classroom, eh? Because we have no class monitor. Do we have one? Who wants to be our head prefect? Yeah? Martha, you want to be our head prefect? Yet you can't talk for yourself. Head prefect who can't campaign for themselves. What is that? Eh? Really? Campaign.
Good morning, everyone. Forgive my voice, I have some bit of flu and cough. Yes, I'm Namuga Martha. I'm in third year at Makerere University. My group is FinHub, our company, and I'm here to campaign to be your head prefect. I'll provide lunch for all. I'm diligent, I reach on time, I'll fight for our rights. Please vote for me.
Who else wants to be a head prefect? We are going to vote in a few minutes. Who wants to be a head prefect? Oh, we compete. Yeah? Mother, should we compete? I'm saying we cannot have a position that is unopposed as important as that. Who else wants to be a head prefect? Huh? Who else? Huh? Pardon? Marion wants to be a head prefect. In a minute, we have had Martha.
Good morning, everyone. Jennifer Nana is my name. I'm just campaigning to be the head prefect of this class. In fact, of this team. And what I'm requesting is just we need to work in unity and we really interact with each other so that our being here, we make good friendship. Thank you.
Okay. You want what? iPhones? Yeah? Okay. Who wants to campaign? Who else? Linda? Okay. So, now the head prefect will be our president, not so? Because this is a congregation, it is a gathering of very important people. The very important people that you are, eh? So our head prefect will be our president for this gathering. Can we vote? Because for me, I wanted to compete for the same position with Martha and I've forgotten her name, from the village savings group. But for me, if you vote me, I'll buy for everyone iPhones. I'll make sure you have data for 10 years. Yeah, when you vote for me. But I'm not a woman. So who is voting for Martha? By show of hands, who is voting for Martha? Yeah? Who is voting for Martha, people? Martha, you look around and see who is not voting you. Who is voting for Martha? How many are those? I forgot your name, madam.
I'm Jennifer Anena.
Who is voting for Jennifer? Who is saying backbenchers? Eh? Okay. Okay. So who is the president? Congratulations, Martha. You have an acceptance speech? Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yes, I'm glad to have taken up this position, and I'm ready to work with all of us. I'm excited. Yes, thank you.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Well, there is that true saying that leadership comes from God. You know that. But it's also very true that if we never make the choice to be the people we want to be, we never become those people. Yes? I thought that because we are in a conversation with women leaders, that everyone was going to say they want to be president. Yeah? Starting from Sunita. I thought everyone was going to say they are going to be president. I don't think, Martha, are you the team lead? She's not even the team lead for her own team. But I thought that the easiest that should happen to all of us is saying that whenever we have to make choices, the first choice we should make is we should take lead of every conversation. Yes? Well, we are living in a world of scarcity of good leadership. And then we are also living in a world of scarcity of the right skills. So when you have the right skills, Anita, you are expected to come to the front and take charge. Yeah? So we congratulate you, Martha and Jennifer. So Jennifer, when Sauda brings our cakes tomorrow, one of the cakes is yours, eh? Yeah, you'll serve whoever voted you. Don't give people who didn't vote for you. Yeah, and yeah. So otherwise, I hope you're happy. If you're not happy, tell me. Who is not happy? Yeah. Last year we had someone, a friend of mine. She came for the hackathon and she had been chucked that day. So I knew it. She didn't have to tell me. But when I looked at her, I was like, oh, there's something wrong with this lady. And indeed, she had been chucked. So I hope no one was chucked today. So the mobile money ecosystem in a few minutes. Well, the things we are doing today are supposed to spread in an array of opportunities. All of us here are able to do something differently and uniquely and serve a different market without having to collide in any way. The challenge is that there is either no information out there or it is very little that we are told about the opportunities that there is, especially in the mobile money ecosystem. So we have teams we've mentored about 970 something startups over the last 3-4 years. So many of them think and believe that their only way of getting to the market and making a difference for themselves and the communities they serve is by copying something that they have seen working somewhere. But it's not very true that very many times when we copy, we get the right solutions to the market. So the mobile money ecosystem has opportunities you can have as a player to serve the diaspora market. There's so many people that leave Africa every single day and go to work in Asia, go to work in Europe, in America, and they want to remit money, for instance. As software engineers, as business developers and all that, there is opportunity for you to be a developer in the space. Never create a solution necessarily, but be the one that makes sure all the products that make sense are done through your hands and through your guidance. There is opportunity for businesses typically that are not fintechs, that are not banks, that are not mobile money operators, but want to leverage technology to serve their customers better. They want to create e-commerce platforms. They want to create solutions that enable them access many customers at once. And all that can be done with all of us here using the technology we are learning about today. But there is also opportunity for high-value customers. One of those bits, in my opinion, is cryptography and the bitcoins you've heard about. I'm not a subscriber to them in so many ways. When you want to ask me why, you can ask me away from the camera, but I'll tell you, there is so much opportunity that we can have. But what does the mobile money ecosystem look like? What can you do as an innovator if you have to innovate for mobile money? So, as you may see this on the screen, is an image illustration that we pull from services and solutions that are offered by 4 mobile money operators, the biggest in Africa, that include MTN, Mobile Money, Airtel Money, M-Pesa, Safaricom, and Vodafone, and the other, Tigo. So, we have a look at what exactly can happen on 2 sides of innovation. This side is for innovating for the majority of the users that we have in the continent. The majority, I mean that most people who use mobile devices are using feature phones. And even most of you who have smartphones still use a lot of USSD to transact, not so? How many of you use your apps for transacting using mobile money? The president and her Zahara is even hiding her hand. She's okay. Okay, so you can see out of 100 people, there are about 5 who use their apps. I'm learning to use my app for the same work. I can tell you 7 months ago I wasn't using it, yet I had it on my phone. So, this side is for the extreme users and the majority. This side is for the things that many of you want to create. Not necessarily because they are the ones that will be used the most, but because they offer us a more seamless user experience. Because they offer us better ways of creating solutions that are tailor-made for different players. They are custom for e-commerce, for fashion, for pay later businesses, for paying for utilities, whichever it may be. And then it is also allowing us to customize services in a way that is more user-friendly for everyone. I mean, an application can be populated with information. It can allow you to create a list of priority contacts that you send money to. But then, what can happen at the end of the day? So, using USSD, we have a provision of an intuitive interface with the broadest reach of MTN and other mobile money operators that is competitive and serving the unbanked. Yeah. While using apps, we get a provision of the required functionality, user experience to succeed in a more advanced FinTech services. So this is for those who want to do more. Yeah? Whereas this is for those who want to get onboarded, the underserved, the unbanked. But what can happen? What can happen is on USSD and apps, literally all these things can happen. But it is up to us to find ways of creating a custom way of innovating around these solutions. So we can do transfers. I'm sure all of us understand the meaning of the word transfer. Yeah. So we can do transfers any day, any time. We can do payments, and we can do beyond payments. We can understand all these terminologies as we move forward. But for now, who understands what P2P means? Peer-to-peer or person-to-person. You're the best. Tell yourself I'm the best. Yeah? Or you can speak in Jamaica and say, feed the best. Yeah? Yeah, you're the best. Yeah? So we can do cash-ins and cash-outs. You know cash-ins and cash-outs? Yeah? You can deposit on your wallet. You can withdraw. The deposit is a cash in. Getting money on your wallet is a cash in. It can have come from P2P, yeah? You can cash out. You can buy airtime. I'm sure you all know now we can no longer buy airtime using scratch cards. So everything we have as airtime is bought using mobile money, not so? How do you buy airtime for UTL, Maureen? Who understands remittances? Yeah? Do we understand remittances? Okay, well, it deals a lot with transferring value across borders. It is more of a terminology we use when we are transferring money from the diaspora coming down to Africa. Wherever, or from Africa to. Have you ever sent someone who is in the UK money? Who has ever sent someone money in the UK? Who has ever had that kind of privilege? How much did you send? Yes. Bitcoins. Okay. And how much? So these Bitcoiners, we don't even know how much he's saying. How much did you send? You want to confuse all of us. Okay. So if you've had the privilege, pray to the God you believe in, that a day comes and you are the one who is sending to the people in the diaspora. You send them upkeep, you send your kids money to enjoy life, right? So we can do bill payments. The bills can be school fees, can be utilities, water, electricity, healthcare, anything. We can do bulk payments. For instance, I think next year, around this same time, if all of you return for the hackathon, I'm rearing some goats somewhere. I'll sell all of them and send you all the money if you all return. Yeah? I'm on camera, on record. I'm rearing some goats. So when you all return for next year's hackathon, Josephine, the moment you reach here, you tell me I'm back. I'll sell all the goats and you take the money. All of them. Okay? So, but to send money to all of you, I'll have to do a bulk transfer because I will not be sending to each one at a time. Yeah? Okay? So merchant payments. Who are merchants? The merchants, they are the informal and the formal. The merchant can be a shop online. It can be all of us here having services and solutions we offer and we are supposed to be paid. But I'm sure you've seen the growth of the advent of M-Shwari, the Momo Pays and all those things. And they are allowing for people to receive payments without any cost. I think you've seen that. How many of you here have a merchant code? Okay, so we have a circle. You have a merchant code? Beth, you have a merchant code. We are going to send to yours today, if we can. Interoperably. If I can send from MTN to your M-Pesa merchant, I'm going to send money to it. If I can't, I know Marion and Maria Vivian are leaders of a circle. We started from this. We have a circle where we are saving to buy a lot of land as innovators. Then when the land is used for agriculture, we'll use the money to construct schools so that your children will not have to pay for school fees. Yeah? Not so, Marion? Yeah, we have a big deal. So bank tech, I'll talk about it sometime, but it relates with creating custom technology to be leveraged between mobile network operators, mobile money operators, and banks specifically. InsurTech is all about creating technology that serves insurance and provides services that are tailored for providing insurance. But we have an opportunity to create micro insurance services, as all of us here. And lastly, e-commerce. who has an e-commerce platform? I'm sure the Village Saving Group is going to create an e-commerce platform to help women sell the things they create with their hands, make money, have a wallet, and be able to save money on the same wallet and pay for school fees. Kawes, not so? Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for being a beautiful audience. Allow me welcome Paul Baker. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Innocent. Wow, that was a pretty good presentation, and you covered all the bases really well. So it's going to be a hard act to follow. How do I get my presentation on? Yes, that's the one. Okay, brilliant. So, what I'm going to be covering now is all of those things that Innocent spoke about are possible using other payment mechanisms. So why is Mojaloop better than those guys? This is really what I want to cover. So, okay, I can do that. Okay, there we go. Essentially, what's happening in the market at the moment is the different mobile money operators, they're connecting to each other through bilateral integrations. Sorry, I'm mixing my words. So bilateral integrations. In other words, a particular mobile money will have a negotiation with another mobile money, and they'll come up with an agreement and a method on how they can send money between each other. But each time they do that, it's expensive. They've got to get contracts in place, they've got to get agreements. Sometimes they don't trust each other, so they've got to put money up front to be able to integrate with each other. So that's this view over here. And Mojaloop doesn't do that. Mojaloop is a centralized switch, meaning that each person needs to integrate once. You need to integrate once into that switch, and once you're part of that switch, you can send money to anyone else in that switch. So for example, in this picture, you would only need to build 7 integrations. Well, each person, each DFSP would only need to integrate 1. That's if there's 7 DFSPs. And in bilateral, to do the same, you would need 21. Now that's kind of manageable to have 21 integrations. Although it's expensive, it's manageable. But what happens if you have 50? If you have 50 DFSPs, over here you only need 50 integrations. But 1,176 integrations? No, that's not going to happen. And that's what we're finding happens in the current financial markets. So because that's impossible, it means not everyone gets integrated. You know, if you've got a new organization and you want to connect in, the other guys aren't interested because they've already got 21 integrations and it's expensive to keep going. So, and there's running costs and complexity around it. So what happens is you almost end up with clubs. Certain players integrate with each other because they understand and they're the big players, but new guys coming in can't get in because so you end up with silos and or limited functionality being supported across different players. And the resultant of all that is it's not financially inclusive. In other words, it starts to become expensive. And then you end up with markets that don't get served. So you can't always transfer to everyone, is really what that means. And not all of those use cases are possible for everyone. And really, Merge is because of this model, is really trying to cover that, because it doesn't have to be that way. You know, you can integrate everyone together using one integration platform, and that is very manageable. Okay, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the pain points that different organizations have in paying. So one in particular is the MFI SACCO's pain points, and the reason why it's particularly important is financial inclusion. So poor people often aren't in the financial markets at all, and their first try to get into financial markets is if they need a loan and that they need to borrow some money, or they need to join a SACCO, some sort of saving plan. So this is a very important part, because it's almost the first time that that poor people sort of get into the financial markets. But the current way that SACCOs and MFIs, now I don't know the market that well in Uganda. That's the first time I'm here. It's a lovely country, by the way, so far. It's great. But often, so I'm hoping that these ideas resonate with you as well, and that is the cost of getting loans out there and collecting loans is onerous. You know, it's a big part of the business, and the result of that means that, in fact, these services are really expensive. So if you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. The first time a poor person needs money or financial support, and then they get a product, a financial product, and it is the most expensive financial product there is on the market. They pay higher rates than anyone else. That really doesn't make any sense. And that's because of the cost involved in the collection and the mechanisms. And that is because the SACCOs are left out. They're not connected. They're not connected into the system. So a big part of what we wanting to do with Mojaloop is to break that down, is to make connecting and making payments affordable, you know, because they don't have to be unaffordable, and they don't have to have high rates. So I've listed down a list of things that we think can get tackled, but essentially, if MFIs can be treated as sort of first citizen organizations connecting into a switch, that means that they can perform these actions at low costs, which means they can pass on those costs to the end user and they don't have to charge high rates. There's another side to this, which is about recognizing good payers from bad payers, and good payers should be given good rates. Yeah? Okay, so something that's not part of Mojaloop, but is an important aspect here, and that is have almost a credit scoring mechanism but without credit, to understand who are better payers, so that better loan rates can be given to better payers, and that's important, because then we can end up with very efficient sort of loan rates to poor people, which is the dream. Okay, then wallet pain points. So bilateral integrations are actually pretty expensive. There's two aspects that are expensive. The one is actually to manage the connection, sort of the technical side of it. You know, there's security concerns, there's upgrades, there's running costs, there's monitoring that needs to happen to keep your connection going. But there's another one, and that is collateral. You got to put money in a bank account in order to maintain that bilateral connection. And that's probably the most expensive part of maintaining bilateral connections. And Mojo Loop essentially, because of how it works with the daily settlement and the net settlement across all the different integrations, is you only need to put up collateral for one connection, which is significantly cheaper than doing it for 27 or 7 other different organizations, depending on how those connections happen. So really, it's instead of this being a headache, it actually just becomes much easier. Okay, I'm not going to dwell too much on that. So we got another tool in the market. We call it Payment Manager, but it really is inside Mojo Loop. There's something called the SDK Scheme Adapter, which is a tool to help people onboard and connect into the Mojo Loop system. So we're going to be designing against an SDK Scheme Adapter in this hackathon, so it is relevant. We have 2 types of them. We've got the SDK Scheme Adapter, and we've got the third-party SDK Scheme Adapter. And essentially what it does is it makes it much easier to connect into the system, and really it starts enabling all of these things, which means connecting into a real-time system is not actually that hard, and it sort of lowers your integration costs. It gives you that payment mechanism built into your system, so you don't have to do it independently. I'm just looking through my notes here. I think you guys can read it too. So really, you start getting those efficiencies. So instead of doing 7 different bilateral connections, you're only doing 1. You've got a tool that allows you to maintain it and connect it and manage it. So the running costs are lower, your capital costs are lower, and because it is maintained by the community, upgrades and getting new functionality and new improvements is easier, and really the connection methodology into the Mojo Loop follows best practice, which means that the security side of it is lower. So the risk around someone hacking in and sort of creating havoc or stealing money is much lower, because the best practice guidelines are followed. So those are those are the reason, those are the benefits. So are there any questions? Great. Sorry, I can't hear that.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The first one is, what consensus mechanism does Mojo Loop use? And the second one is, does Mojo Loop only work on centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges too?
I'm not sure if I heard the first one.
The first one was just like, what consensus mechanism does Mojo Loop use?
Oh, the process mechanism. Okay.
Consensus.
Yeah. So Mojo Loop is made up of microprocessors. Are you familiar with the microprocess design? It uses Docker images, and a Kubernetes engine to manage the scaling out. The code is written in TypeScript and JavaScript. So what that means is we're not tied to any specific hardware. Using these sort of modern tools and modern stack, you can actually begin Moduloop with fairly vanilla sort of hardware platform, and by managing or installing a Kubernetes system on it, you can scale it up and then add more hardware as you need as you go along. So I'm not sure if I'm answering that question, because there are many ways of interpreting processes. Am I not answering it?
So if we were to look at this in the Bitcoin aspect in cryptocurrency, yeah, it uses proof of work as a consensus mechanism. So what does Moduloop use?
Moduloop is a centralized hub service, so it doesn't follow that process at all. So I think that proof of work is used in part of the costing. It doesn't even have that concept. So you have a centralized hub that's running the system, and then people are connecting into the system. There will be a decided agreement on how that hub is costed and paid for. But the whole plan, because it's open sourced, is to try and keep the costs as low as possible. Proof of work doesn't really come into it. There is a cryptographic terms and agreement and fulfillment, and it's the fulfillment of the cryptographic which is the proof that the transaction was agreed to. And that's the closest proof it's got. But really it's worried about the payer and the payee agreeing to the terms, and that's the proof that it's got. So it's almost like a signed debit receipt. So when the payee sets up the conditions, it then presents them to the payer, who accept those terms, and then it releases them based on the distribution of the money, and that mechanism then has this cryptographic fulfillment.
So meaning Moduloop can only be used with fiat.
Sorry, Moduloop can only do?
Can it only be used with only fiat?
Sorry, fiat. What? Oh.
Okay, money that is not backed up by other assets, maybe like like commodities.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm understanding.
Yeah, he's talking about fiat currency, the money,
Oh, okay.
money and physical money and all that, but then the scope is digital money.
Oh, okay. Okay. Moduloop doesn't worry about the cryptographic or the cryptocurrency itself. It worries about the transaction, making sure that the different parties are agreeing to the transaction and allowing it to happen. It doesn't have, it doesn't stipulate exactly what currencies are allowed. So digital currencies could be added onto it. It isn't what it was designed for originally, but there is no reason why it couldn't happen. But the actual mechanism of transferring isn't isn't built into Moduloop. So the digital currencies. Maybe we should talk about it afterwards too, because you clearly got some very strong ideas, and I think it can probably do what you're asking for, but it depends on exactly what you're expecting it to do. So what it does is it facilitates the single point entry connection where you can then send money to everyone else who's also connected, and it is multi-currency, and there's no reason why one of those currencies couldn't be a digital currency. In fact, there's a whole initiative to work out how best to do that inside Mojaloop, called the CBCD sort of interest group. So there, it is definitely possible, but I think the devil's in the details. But it doesn't natively support digital currencies. But they can, the currencies are almost a scheme level definition, not a Mojaloop definition.
Hello?
Yes.
So in simple terms, you're trying to say that we can use Mojaloop for cryptocurrency, right?
It depends on how you do it, but yes. Cryptocurrency, it's not designed for it, so it's not a wallet. The normal crypto mechanisms would still need to be in place, but it can manage the transfer between participants. After, there have been ideas around maybe using crypto to manage the settlement between participants, but they're all different ideas that people have had. So it depends on how you bolt it on and how you fit it in and what use case you're trying to solve. So I think maybe I could answer your question better if I understood exactly what you're thinking about. Yes.
I was requesting for more emphasis on PM for ML. I haven't understood what it's about. PM for ML.
Sorry, I'm supposed to not be using PM4ML. That's our payment manager tool. That helps manage the connection into Mojaloop. So it allows you to connect into Mojaloop without that same level of complexity. So Mojaloop speaks a language. The API it uses is FSPIOP API, and it's an asynchronous protocol, and it's quite complicated, and there's lots of levels of security that need to be built in. Most FinTechs probably won't need to use that. They could go through our SDK. So our PM4ML tool really adds, updates and configures the security so that the SDK can run and operate on its own. So the SDK is the mechanism to manage people connecting into Mojaloop, and the PM4ML is the parts around it to make it easier to install against a real life system. So it helps set up all your secrets, and it negotiates the security. There's certificates that need to be signed and passed through to other people. So that whole mechanism is managed by the PM4ML. So PM is payment manager, for ML is Mojaloop. So this is payment manager for Mojaloop. So sorry about the acronym. I should really be just calling it payment manager. I grabbed the slide from an old deck just beforehand. Yes.
How does Mojaloop handle security and privacy issues for safety transactions?
We have a whole course in the Moja Loop training program about that. I can give a quick summary. It does it through layers. So, who you all, hopefully most of you are fairly technical. Who of you have heard about JWS signatures? It's a sort of and JWT, web JWT tokens. So JWT uses JWS. JWS is a way of verifying that a message hasn't been tampered with, and that it originated from the original person who sent it. So it's a cryptographical way of checking that the message came from the right person. So we use JWS to verify that the message came from the DFSP on the other side of Moja Loop who you were talking to. So JWS is one of them, but then we use all the other stuff as well. So we use something called mutual TLS, which creates a cryptographic tunnel so no one else can get and look at the data that's going through. And that works in both directions. So it's the most secure way that you can secure information. So you end up with a secure pipeline to the switch that you connected into. Then we have an OAuth, a token that needs to be signed so that you only the right people can actually connect, and then there's an authorization around it, so then only those people get access to the right endpoints. Then there's IP whitelisting, so only your IPs can check into it. So IP whitelisting. Then we've got the ILP certificates, which are also signed with secrets, so that when you're evaluating a condition that's been given to you, you can also check that it came from the originator source. And then Moja Loop's transaction goes through very well-defined phases, step-by-step phases, and you can't jump a phase. So you can't go from the one to like another one. So because it's very structured, it means that you can't. You can't bypass things. That's also a big aspect of the security. And then the last one I can think of, and it just slipped my mind. Anyway, yes, that's it. Moja Loop has this idea: if you send a repeated repeated API call, so you can't copy a call that was valid and then send it again and get a new transaction. What it does is it identifies it as being the same message as before and gives you the same result that you had previously. So you can't duplicate information. So the combination of all of those together means it's really designed with security in mind. And as far as I can see, there are no ways of bypassing it, unless of course there's I mean, there always must be, but it's all about keeping track of your secrets so how you store your secrets and keys is critical, because that is your security. It's like the keys to your front door, and now you're on the internet. You know, so really the security ends up being all about how you manage that and who's got access to that and how often you renew them, and your policies about renewing and updating those security. So that's more how we stay on top of it once the security mechanism is in place. Yes.
Thank you. What is the privilege of access to the centralized database or ledger? Then secondly, how does Moja Loop handle trust issues? And then thirdly, is Moja Loop tamper evident?
You might have to ask me those other questions just now. What?
The first question is, what is the privilege of access to the centralized database? Is there a permissioning system? Then secondly, how does Moduloop handle trust issues between parties? It being the having that centralized mechanism or system. Then thirdly, is it tamper evident? Like if a transaction has been recorded, then maybe an error is made. Does it override, or do you have to like do something new, and are both records kept or visible? Yeah.
Those are all very good questions. Okay, the first one, how do you access the centralized ledger? And we have an RBAC, role-based access control, that's built into Moduloop. So the first thing is direct access to the internal ledger. At the moment, there are different ways of doing it. It depends on your particular implementation. But at the moment, direct access is only possible through an internal VPN. So your hub staff really only have that access. That isn't always the case, though. It can be changed. Okay, great. Okay, we got 15 minutes, so let me try and answer them clearly. So role-based access control is really the best way to do it. And through configuration in your hub, you can create roles. So those roles are customizable for your particular hub and how you want to run your hub. So you create different roles, and then very detailed list of permissions linked to those roles. And there's something called segregation of duties, that some roles can't be held, well, two different roles cannot be held by the same person. So the whole hub is sort of configured that way. So you can very precisely control who's got access to what. So there's a very strong sort of authorization mechanism built into that. Then in terms of traceability on a hub, everything is logged. And in fact, we have something called our financial portal on the hub that gives you detailed access to all the logs linked to a transaction. So you can actually go to the almost the microservice handler log definitions and check their messages going in and out at each state. And beyond that, there is also all the logs are collected and put together in something called we used to use Elasticsearch. Now we use Loki. So we have your technical support team for the hub really have access to those low-level logs, so they can work out exactly what was happening on the machine at the time for each of the microservices. So we got machine-level logs, but then we got logs linked to those links to a transaction itself, which is made to the end users. Transactions can't be rerun. We can't reuse the same number. And they time out, so each transaction times out. So after a certain time, you can't reuse it. If something goes wrong, there's a whole reconciliation process which happens during settlement, where you check your back-end accounts match with accounts in the hub, so you can pick up any differences. And then there's a sort of a dispute process that you can follow to try and work out what those differences. So as a DFSP, you got a mechanism for being able to raise queries, and then in the hub they've got the tools to be able to drill down into the details as to what went wrong and which accounts got updated, which ones didn't, and then review and resolve that dispute. So there are lots of mechanisms. There was a third question. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Thank you. I think you've also a bit touched on it, on the part of it being tamper evidence. Does it override? And I just wanted you to add on a bit more on the transparency bit, if it's there. Yeah.
On the transparency. Because of microservices, I don't know if any of you have worked in an environment where there are microservices. The only way to work out what went wrong is to have good visibility. And there's a whole mechanism in place called observability, where you have a whole system that's running alongside of it to provide full understanding as to what's going on. So all that information is captured and it's queryable, and you can design queries and get reports. In terms of transparency, I don't know, transparency to who? To the hub operators or to the DFSPs? All parties. So the hub operator himself, because of segregations of duties, the people running the hub, sort of doing technical operations, they're the only ones normally get access to those low-level logs. The hub operator working through the software will get access to the logs against that transaction, so that particular transaction, what happened at each level. And then we have reports that can get built out. So within your organization, there's plenty, there's as much transparency as you want, and really it's configurable so that you can design it to follow your process flows. So part of what you need to do is to design a process flow for each one of these events in your hub, of things that could go wrong, and then you can build in the reports to support that mechanism. But there's as much as you need on that side. In terms of a DFSP, they're sitting outside the hub and their access is limited. So what access do they get? They get access to the to settlement reports, detailed settlement reports, which really, in a settlement window period, which is really a collection of transactions that have been grouped together, and the result of all of that, all of the netting of those transactions is you need to pay this person this much money, or this other organization. So you get the net flows of money. The reports that you get allow you to drill down into the very detail of those reports, so you can identify each transaction, and then that allows you to do this reconciliation process where you can compare it to all the transactions that you expected. So you have your statement of record, your understanding of what exactly happened is in your core back-end system, and it allows you to compare your core back-end system statement of record with what's in Moduloop. And if there are any discrepancies, that's where you need to put in work. And then normally the hub provides a mechanism where you can raise disputes if it doesn't quite tie up with what you want to do, and then they've got an internal process for managing it. So your transparency as a DFSP is limited, but I think that's correct. But it does provide you exactly the information you need to know to be able to raise the right questions to the hub, and then the hub follows a process and resolves it with their internal visibility. Does that make sense? Okay.
Thank you. My question is on the transaction fee you charge. I'm wondering how you come up with a transaction fee which is lower than any other lending or any transfer money done across the board. Do you have like a percentage, or how do you work it out?
So Moduloop doesn't define how you do transaction fees, but what it does is it provides mechanisms so that you can add in your fees. So I can tell you what Moduloop prefers is for there to be no fees. But that isn't always practical. Yeah, exactly. So there's a whole lot that there's a whole fee mechanism built in, and there's two approaches to fees. There's a fee that the hub can charge at a per transaction level, and it isn't defined how that works. The fee could also be a monthly connection fee that each FSP pays in order to be able to transact. There's also an interchange fee, which allows you to charge a fee to the other DFSP and not through the hub. And there's a negotiation in the transaction flow that I described before, where the payer can present a fee, and the payee who sets up those conditions might decide to pay that fee by giving a discount into the rate and communicating it back. So in other words, you could have MFI or SACCO deciding to substitute the mobile money fee, the mobile wallet fee, if they don't want, if they want to cover the cost, as to encourage people to use the mechanism. So there's quite a comprehensive way to do feeing, and that's a whole session on its own. But essentially all players can have fees. So the hub can have a fee, and there's lots of different ways of doing it. The FSPs or the DFSPs connecting in can actually substitute some of the fees of the other player, or they can charge a fee across which the other DFSP then needs to cover, or they can have a fee that they pay against the hub. So that covers all options really. And there isn't a rule. It could be fixed or proportional to a transfer. What normally happens is that comes in as part of the scheme rules. So a scheme is really the business. A merge loop hub is really a collection of a whole lot of organizations who are deciding to work together. And the scheme really designs that business linking on how they all fit together. So it's not the physical hub of the transacting, it's not the hub operator, that's separate, but it's the business agreements and relations on the terms in which connecting into the scheme is going to work. So a big part of the scheme set of rules is deciding how it's going to pay for itself. So it needs to cover its costs so it can provide a good service. You know, where is it going to get those costs from, and how it's going to charge the fees needs to be part of how they agree to it. And you might have different classes of participants, DFSPs connecting into the scheme, and they may have, based on the use cases they support and the transaction volumes, they may pay a different or varying fee depending on how it's decided to be done. There's lots of opinions out there as to what the best way to do it is, but essentially, if you're going to if you want your use case to be scalable to low transaction volumes, you can't generally charge a fixed fee. It's got to be a proportional fee. So, yeah. Did I answer your question? Okay, good.
Does merger loop handles workflow validation when using it?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm asking, does merger loop handles workflow validation when using it? Like, does it give you like, how, in case you get an error, does it give like a workflow validation that you have made the error in this step, or when you are using it?
Yeah, so, yes, absolutely. But it's not a configurable workflow. The merge loop transactions themselves follow a very specific and designed workflow, and we use something called sequence diagrams to specify how that works. So because it's a microservice, it's not only a microservice architecture, it's also a distributed system. So it's part of what needs to happen in Mojo Loop happens on the DFSPs. So it's really connecting organizations together. So to do that well, it's important to know where you are in the flow and what your responsibility as that particular entity. So we have very well defined flows for each of the use cases. What is really good though is that everything's based on the standard peer-to-peer use case. So if once you've understood that, all the other use cases on top of that really just add extra information before, afterwards. But the standardized use case is pretty much the same. There's a lot of documentation. If you go onto mojoloop.io and you go to the technical documentation, under the API, there's a whole lot of workflows for each of the different specific use cases. Yep.
My question is about the deployment. When you read through the API, it takes you to Kubernetes, the container, but finally to the image, which results into the thing phase. So which way do we connect to the actual service?
Which images are you talking about? Those are those sequence diagrams. Okay. Okay. So our CI/CD mechanisms, when you merge into master for each of the microservices, it builds an image. Those are the images I was talking about beforehand. Those images get published on Docker Hub. I think it's Docker Hub. And then we used Helm as the mechanism to deploy those images of the right version into Kubernetes. Which then, in the world of microservices, half of the complexity is the applications that you build. The other half is how you connect them together and how you configure them. So we use Helm to manage those configurations, to set them up and get them all connected together to work in the K8 or the Kubernetes environment. Then the Kubernetes. We then have ingress and egress, which manage the APIs coming in and out. So we have we've got a service called the ML API adapter, which manages the ingress API calls, and then we've got a ML notification server, which manages the calling of the callbacks. So once those are connected, those are your in and out points. It's probably, if you're wanting to set up a hub and try it out, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can also do it without Kubernetes. Have you worked with Docker Compose? So we have a Docker Compose version called the testing harness, which we use in our CI to do the testing, in which case we don't worry about Kubernetes and Helm. We just take the images and we run them in Docker and we connect them together, and it allows you to transact and to try out the system. So from a programming point of view, that's a nice way of doing it, because if you're familiar with Docker tools, you can create new networks and you can add in new files and inject some information in and try it out.
So now how do we connect to the actual network? Like if I have a company, how do I connect such that I'm part of it?
Well, when you say actual network, which one? There isn't one. We've got a few sandboxes, but really we need, in Uganda at the moment, there isn't a live network. What we're trying to do is to get people to understand how to connect in and get a lot of people interested in it. And there is, I know that there is an RFP out for a national switch, a real-time national switch, which we are hoping Uganda will choose Mojaloop, in which case there will be a national switch that we can connect into. But really, we don't have one which is live in production trading with real money. So at the moment, we stand up sandboxes, and people can try against it. But really, what we're trying to do is get enough people interested in it for someone to say that this is a tool I want, and then they can go through the process to make that real. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
I think we're out of time. Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Paul. A round of applause for Paul. I think now we don't have any more confusion about Mojaloop now, do we? Are we starting to get there? Yeah? Response. Respond. Are we getting there somehow? I'm not saying have you fully understood, but are you trying to pick? Are you starting to pick? Yeah? Are we picking? Yeah, it's the first time it is really difficult, but it shouldn't discourage you. Little by little, you're going to get there. Don't get disheartened. Like, why am I not getting it? You're going to get it. So next, we have presentations, business case, and problem statement. So you're going to be coming here. You have 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And then the facilitators are going to be here. They have 1 minute to give you feedback. Yeah? So I'm going to request Kilio and the team to come this way so that we can start this. 4 minutes. If your 4 minutes elapse, I'm going to stop you. And another thing, please, when there's a presentation here, let us pay attention. Don't do your work during a session. Am I understood? Don't do your work during a presentation. I talked to some groups. And it was a warning. You have a head prefect, right? Martha. So I'll be noting these groups that are discussing during sessions. I'll give them to Martha, and Martha will give them to the facilitators, and the facilitators will deduct some marks from your work. You're going to be penalized, in other words. So let us pay attention when there's a presentation. Okay.
Good morning. How are you today? Are you ready to present? Okay. We're going to call you randomly. Please come up. Speak. Speak freely. Okay? Own your solution. Own your problems. Okay? Yeah. Team FinHub. FinHub, you're up first. 4 minutes. eCare, you're coming up after FinHub. Chap chap.
Okay, good morning to you all. This is Team FinHub, and I'm Zahara. She's Jojo. This is Emma, and this is Martha. So FinHub is a company that is focused on university students mainly, and the problem statement states to access financial knowledge and formal banking services, including saving accounts and loans, and it is limited for only university students in Uganda. Students face a lot of challenges, like you also know, and majority of us are students. So we are here to meet the goals of the students, certain goals like acquiring loans without need of collateral security, and also making students well equipped with financial knowledge. Then the proposed solution from FinHub would be all is, it offers easy access to saving accounts, loans, and financial education, helping students to manage their finances in a better way and succeed in their financial endeavors in the future. They will have prospected too. So the target audience, like earlier stated, we are looking at the university students, whereby university students lack tailored financial services and knowledge that are not offered by other existing digital finance platforms. Then the market opportunity. FinHub holds a considerable market opportunity with Uganda's universities and the students' population as a whole. And it is, as a pilot study we did earlier before we came in for the hackathon, it is estimated to be 120,000 students, and the platform aims to address a significant gap by providing the innovative financial services tailored to only particularly university students. Then the value proposition. The value proposition states that FinHub is part of a holistic approach, and we offer an all-in-one platform that combines savings, loans, and financial education to the university students. Then the risk assessment. The risk assessment, we have the regulatory compliance risk, and those are the legal and regulatory challenges. Then user adoption and engagement risk. Then the dependency on partnerships and market penetration risk. Well, the regulatory and compliance considerations, what are those? The Uganda Registration Services Bureau, that is the URSB, where we should register our company. Then the Bank of Uganda, the Uganda Communications Commission, that is the UCC. And in addition, due to the need to acquire the tax identification number, that is the TIN, that is issued by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Marketing and sales strategy, what are those? We have the social media campaigns, the partnering with the students' organizations that are already existing, and also partnering with the financial institutions that are already existing. The competition, we have the traditional banks. Yes, they are there, but we are a tailored service. Then we have the circles. We have the mobile money loans. We have the money lenders. Financial projections, what are those? We have our initial investment is 100 million Ugandan shillings.
read for us the problem statement again as you've been presenting it there, as it is there.
The problem statement. Okay, to access financial knowledge and formal banking, access to financial knowledge and formal banking services, including saving accounts and loans, which is limited to only government students, rather students, university students in Uganda, and we saw that students face challenges to meet their goals.
So, how can I know that that's a problem?
I will give a scenario.
No, from your statement there, because you're saying access to financial blah, 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 to access.
Limited access to financial knowledge.
It's not what you read at first.
Access to financial knowledge and formal banking services.
Exactly. Don't you see those are two opposite things?
Yes, it's how it's stated here, but I'll try to correct it.
Yeah, did you get it, Bidin?
Yes.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
The problem is not clear
yes.
in the statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is not clear in the statement.
Yes.
But I said, I tried to correct it.
So you're going to go back and try to refine it,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody has to understand the problem straight up when you're speaking about it in like the first 30 seconds.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't hide the problems, okay?
All right.
Straight up.
Okay.
Cool. And also, how is that problem a problem?
How is it a problem?
Yes.
To the
how is it affecting them? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
To be true, the first 2 minutes when you were reading the whole statement, I couldn't see anything there. You get it? It is not clear at all. So it is hard to connect even to the rest of the presentation. Then also, what Cleo shared yesterday is to guide you. Don't be following point by point and you say, maybe she wrote measurable objectives. Then you're coming here and you're stating all measurable objectives. You know, look for what is desired for your presentation.
Okay, just to supplement for the other teams that are coming up, you have to state the problem and how it's negatively affecting the people you're designing the solution for, okay? And it has to be a very brief statement so that it's clear and concise in the first 30 seconds of your presentation, okay? All right, thank you so much. There's time to go and work on it, okay? Yeah, thank you. Next up, we have Ike. Campus Worship Cafe. After Ike, get ready.
A little something. When you come to present, the presenter stands here, then the others stand here, like this, yes?
Good morning, everyone. We are Team e-parking. No, we are sorry, it's not IKEA. So, yeah, we changed. So, in Uganda, we are facing a problem of revenue collection along the streets. And therefore, we are designing a mobile app that will ease the parking along the streets. The mobile app will use the QR code scan, whereby the drivers will scan to initiate and terminate the parking sessions. The problem statement here is the manual processes and inadequate management lead to inefficient use of parking spaces, revenue loss for authorities, and the accumulation of bulky documents that hinder the streamlined operations. So the proposed solution, as I had told you, we are designing a mobile app that will use the QR code, whereby the drivers will come, scan the code, and it will, by scanning, they will have initiated the parking process. Then, as they get out of the parking, they will also scan to end the process. This app will involve the real-time spot availability, whereby the driver can get access to the parking spot. Then also, it will also have the app token payment, whereby the drivers will pay in form of tokens. Then also the session alerts, whereby it will send the notification to the driver that your time is almost expiring.
Yeah, to add on that, we are seeing that.
Team parking. Team e-parking?
E-parking.
Okay. Are you done with the problem statement?
Yes.
Is she going to present a business case now?
Yes.
Had you already started on it?
Yeah,
Because she said a lot. I'm trying to
started on
differentiate what the problem statement was and...
Yeah, we did the problem statement, then also started on the business case, and I'm proceeding with it.
Okay. So for guidance, when you come up, please clearly state this is the problem statement, say it, and then when you're moving on to a business case, also clearly state it. Okay? All right, please continue.
All right, so proceeding with where she had stopped from, we are having our target audience as the parking authorities, the people that are responsible for charging the collection, the parking fee along the streets. Then we also have the urban commuters, whereby these are the people who come, maybe have businesses in town, workplaces, they have to park their cars, and they have to be with a convenient way of parking their cars. Then we also have the tourists and visitors in urban areas. Yeah. Then the market opportunity, we see there is a high rate growth of urban centers, whereby, like, according to the growth rate of the urban centers, so realized we have to be having the efficient means of how those people are going to be parking their cars along the streets. Then we also have the increasing vehicle ownership, where you find most people, currently everyone owns a car. Okay, most of the people own cars, and they also have to find efficient ways of parking their cars. In doing this, we are reducing the congestion along the streets. And then also, the market opportunity, we are also seeing there is lack of the current existing technology is not efficient. So by implementing our system, we are trying to make the process efficient.
Okay, team e-parking, your time is up. Yes. Thank you. So, before you go back to sit, you weren't so clear in the problem statement, okay? Yes, I'm refining that to do, and she kept on mentioning the QR solution. So the problem statement, participants should not include the solution, okay? We are here to speak about the gap that you've identified, right? Cool.
I want to talk about presentation skills. You know, if I'm to give you audience, listen to you, you need to speak with the body. You need to speak the way you present. You can't be presenting while stepping back and forward. Grab the attention of the audience. They'll listen to you. But I cannot lay my ears if you're not giving me the energy. Secondly, you need to be brief and precise. Use the right words. Go straight to the point. You don't need to elaborate so much on a point. And then in the business case, you know, the explanations were going off. You state something, and then you start going round and round. By the time you come back to get to another point,
it's a learning process, okay? Yeah, there's time for improvement. Next up. Elite companies coming up after workshop.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, limited access to financial services by women who do traditional laundry services is still hard currently, making their business very unsustainable. Hence, they cannot support their families, including students in the universities. So, we are bringing up a solution to bridge that gap, to enable them access other markets by providing a technical solution, which is a mobile laundry app. Our target market size is, for now, 800 students. That's what we considered. If we charge an average of 6,000, let's say on a Monday, which is like the day when not everyone does the laundry, then we'd expect to get about 180,000 Uganda shillings. So, which means that is per day. So, at the end of the year, we'll have about 60 million, that is per year. Then our competitors are dry cleaners. And I think in Barra currently, I know only one clean point.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing with our business case, our value proposition is we shall ensure that there is convenient and time saving for users, because there will be easy pickups, and that will save them their valuable time. And in our risk assessment, we shall ensure that there is data privacy and a high security levels, delivery logistics, geographical limitations, and payment disputes. So thereby we shall ensure digital payment by empowering use of digital wallets to ease the work for users and to bridge the gap between users and the service providers. In the regulatory compliances, we want to register with the Ministry of ICT, among others. With the operational impact, we shall ensure that we have real-time updates about customer information, and then there is reduced carbon footprints, because there will be reduced pollution, because we shall have like center washing points to avoid everyone being washing, and that to avoid pollution, in other words. For the marketing and sales strategy, we are targeting ads, promotion and discounts, and influencer collaborations. So we shall use influencers like Twips to market us on Twitter and Instagram and all other social media platforms. Then for sustainability and scalability, we shall ensure bulk ordering, so that users can order they can bring very many clothes, or they can order in bulk. Okay? And so we shall have predictive income sources. And then for the implementation plan, for the developing, it is going to be human, like a person will develop, and the consideration is the developer. The timeline, we shall work on that. Then launching, we need money to launch and funders. And then scaling, we need money, we need skilled labor, those are people, and then profits. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Worship. I just have a question for you. You mentioned your competitor, I think, but you didn't mention what unique thing you're offering, like from what they already have.
Pardon?
You mentioned your competitor, I think, but you didn't mention what unique thing you're bringing to the market with your solution. That's the value proposition I'm trying to.
Thank you. So our competitors are traditional dry washers, the ladies who go to campus halls and then they do the washing. So for us, we are bringing in a mobile application and not chasing them away from the market, because, hey, we still want to empower the women, right? We're not chasing them away. We're just trying to enable them, like, access financial services if we employ them. So our app is for the transactions and the ordering. Then, because we actually sat down and were like, if we bring something, and we're chasing these women away from their workplaces. I don't know if that.
Okay, so what's your actual target group? The actual target group you're building for? Is it the campusers, the women, the washers?
Well, we sat down, and before we came here, it was just campusers. But after interacting with the mentors, they were like, let's make it open so that anyone who wants the services can order for it.
We shall just have to look through your problem statement, and then we see how we can refine it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Up next. Team Allied Company. I think it's Allied Company. Then up next, it's Pesajet.
Good morning, everyone. This is Allied Company. In many communities, the aspiration of owning properties is distant due to financial limitations and lack of accessible mortgage solutions. This issue hinders individuals and families from securing their dream homes and investments, as well as property that align with their preferences. So Allied Company is putting up a mobile application that is going to help individuals in urban areas and low-income earners to access property and make payments in installments on loan. The executive summary. The app transforms property ownership by providing an all-inclusive solution through a fusion of real estate, financial services, and technology. Our platform makes ownership attainable for a wider demography. Our target are the people in urban areas and the low-income earners. These are the parents and the potential buyers, like the young professionals who want to own property. The regulatory compliance. Allied Estates recognizes the importance of regulatory compliance, and therefore we are committed to collaborating closely with financial regulators and the experts in real estate. Security and data privacy. The user trust is paramount in the FinTech sector. Allied prioritizes security and data privacy, implementing robust encryption protocols to safeguard user information and financial transactions. Our commitment to data protection ensures that users can confidently engage in property transactions without compromising their sensitive data. Financial inclusion. Collaboration lies at the core of our value proposition. We collaborate with property sellers, buyers, and want to collaborate with the banks like Stanbic, Centenary, so that they help individuals get property on loan. Our digital adoption. Uganda's increasing internet penetration and smartphone adoption create a favorable environment for our app. As our digital literacy continues to grow, more individuals are comfortable with online transactions, enhancing the scalability of our platform. Value proposition. Elite Estates offers a unique value proposition centered on transforming property ownership through innovation and inclusivity. Our app also streamlines property acquisition by introducing cross-border transactions, enabling users to invest in property beyond their local vicinity.
Thank you. Kindly read us the problem statement again.
In many communities, the aspiration of owning property remains distant due to financial limitations and lack of accessible mortgage solutions. This prevalent issue hinders individuals and families from securing their dream homes and investment that align with their preferences.
So, without reading, you tell me what actually you're going to be doing.
We're going to help individuals that earn low income to own property through loan and installments.
Okay, so as my teammates are coming up with something for you, I want again to hint on presentation skills. The team that was here, e-packing had, campus worship had more energy, you know? By the time you're presenting to the judges on next week, Thursday, you should be having that energy. Start practicing not reading everything from the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is supposed to be a hint. The application belongs to you. The solution and idea is formulated by you. You should be rhyming everything from the mind. So I'll give to my colleagues.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you, Elite. Elite, right? Elite, elite. 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 Okay. So this goes to the other participants as well. Okay. Yesterday, throughout the presentation on the problem statement and business case, I did speak about identifying whom you're designing the solution for. And then in the mentorship session, Madame Olga also emphasized this by telling you to embody the person, okay? Who is John? How old is he? And all that, okay? So in your problem statements, I expect you to mention the category of people that you're looking at. E-parking mentioned Uganda, but not everybody in Uganda is driving a car, and not everybody in Uganda runs a parking payment system or collection system, right? When you speak about individuals and communities, not every community or individual is affected, right? So when Simon was giving you feedback, you actually now mentioned the group, low-income individuals, okay? Yeah, thank you. I hope the other participants are able to mirror this when they come up here, okay? Yeah. Thank you, Elite. Next up, Pesajet.
Good morning, everyone. I am Angela, and this is Team Pesajet. Our problem statement, the access to formal loan services is limited for medium and small scale industry, the medium and small scale enterprises due to the challenges around inaccessibility and unaffordability of loan services offered by traditional financial services, and this is usually marred by high loan interest rates and cumbersome and long loan application processes. That is our problem statement. And why is this a problem? Our main target beneficiaries for this app are small and medium scale enterprises here in Uganda. And these make up about 80% of the Uganda's GDP, and they employ over 2.5 million people in Uganda, and especially the marginalized and the vulnerable communities. So this is why we are targeting this population, and this is why this is a problem, that they can't access loan services that are accessible and easy to use. Under our business case, our executive summary is that Pesajet is an innovative app that will help provide quick loan services to these people, the medium and small scale enterprises that are starting out, especially the youth, the women, and the vulnerable communities. And it will provide loan services in form of providing capital for purchase of stock for these particular businesses. Our proposed solution will obviously provide quick loan services where business owners who want to access these loans can send us a list of stock that they will need for their businesses, and we shall deliver this stock to them, and they can pay back the money used to purchase this stock over a certain period of time, and it will be quick, and we shall monitor all these payments on our platform. Our biggest competitors obviously are the traditional financial services. We are looking at banks, we are looking at microfinances and money lenders. Yes, the timeline for the development of our app is 7 days, and we shall start with the ideation process that we already done. We already have formed a team. We shall work on the prototype. We shall create a list of people who will be supplying these medium and small scale industries in case an application comes through for a loan for stock. And we shall complete this by readying and demoing our app in the next 7 days. Our resource requirements, we have divided this under financial, and under the financial we have a startup capital of $100,000, and we expect, and the projected capital for the next 6 months is $120,000. And like I said, there are 1.1 million small-scale businesses, and these are the people we are going to target, and there's a lot of market to tap into. So we shall have a projected capital of $120,000 the next 6 months, then $240,000 in the next 1 year, and our return on investment will be 30%. Our technical requirements, we shall need a developer. We already have a developer on our team, and we shall need a list of suppliers we can engage to work with us in supplying these medium and small scale industries when the applications come through for particular stock and related products. Our expected outcomes is that we make loan financial services accessible to small scale businesses, and we make it quick, we make it easy for them to access these resources, because they employ mostly the vulnerable people and employ the biggest part of this population and contribute the most to the Ugandan GDP. So that is our app, Pesajet.
Okay. Thank you, Pesajet. So the business case one more time. Sorry, the problem statement one more time.
The access to formal loan services is limited for medium and small-scale businesses because of the challenge of inaccessibility and unaffordability. This is mainly due to high loan interest rates and long loan application processes, usually from banks and all those other places. So our intention is to make it very easy for them to access these loans. They only have to fill in the KYC and give us a list of things they need.
It's okay. I'm confused somewhere. You mentioned buying stock for these people. So is that also, are you giving stock loans or you giving only monetary loans?
stock loans. So they will log
So
into
what are you specifying on, stock loans or monetary?
stock loans.
Then it's not mentioned in the problem.
We shall amend our proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Team rent, easy peasy. You're up next, quickly, please. After that, Cyanase.
Good morning, everyone. We are teamxhome.com. Our problem statement: most expatriates and citizens find difficulty in locating houses. For example, I may be working in Nigeria and I'm reallocated to work in Nigeria, and I'll need a house. So as xhome.com, we look forward to helping people both within our country and those outside the country to locate houses with ease. Then our solution, I think I've said it. Our target audience are the expatriates, those outside the country, and the citizens. Some citizens may be in Arua, and my boss tells me, go work in Mbarara. I'll need to allocate and go to Mbarara. So when I'm using xhome, it's easier for me to find a house of my choice and which is convenient. Then our value proposition: accessibility, availability, and convenience of a house of your own choice, anytime and from anywhere.
Kindly read us the problem statement again.
Most expatriates and citizens find difficulty in locating houses. Many find this challenge during their field trips or business trips, or some be coming to a foreign country for settlement.
So are we looking at houses for rent or houses to buy?
Both.
So what sort of citizens are you looking at? You're talking of expatriates, they have the money. You're also talking of citizens, and I'm a citizen, I'm going for a project in Arua. I'm a high income and a citizen. You get it?
Yes.
Then, also the house I want in Arua, I'm not going to buy it.
Yes.
I'm simply renting it for that period of convenience in the amount that I feel is, you get it?
Yes.
So I'm failing to identify if I'm a tourist and I'm renting for that period and your houses are for rent or specifically for sale.
They are for both rent and sale.
Then we're creating a confusion.
Okay, let me be clear.
You can be clear in...
I may be in Nigeria, and my boss, for example, startup, they tell me go to Uganda. I may have my money to buy a house or rent. So there is the option of buying and renting rather than settling in a hotel room where one night you'll have to spend over like 300,000 for a night. So it be convenient to either buy or rent.
It's okay. Cyanese. After Cyanese, financial education platform for women.
Good morning. This is Team Cyanese. My name is Patricia. This is Vianney. Okay. So Cyanese is here to bridge the gap between people, and when I say people, we have different kind of customers. So we want to offer investment services that are easy to access and reliable. The problem starts from localization. For example, if I am in Uganda, I cannot access investment products outside of Uganda because it's localized to a particular geographical location. Then looking into Uganda as well, when you want to offer investment products, there is regulation, which is expensive, and it's also time consuming. Then the technology is also a bit inefficient at the moment. So we are hoping to bridge the gap between that and accessible, easily accessible investment products. So, okay. Our solution, we have to capture the B2C issue where people are finding it hard to find where to invest, and some people don't really know about investing. Basically, there's all that, and we are offering a web platform. It's a digital platform where someone can just go and you deposit your money, you keep track of it. We allow you to choose your investment products and your handlers. A handler is like the fund manager going to be in charge of your investment. So you keep track there. That is kind of B2C. Then for the B2B, for example, the FinTechs that have consumer facing and they want to offer investment products for those clients, we have an API that can help them to integrate their products into our system. Then easily their clients can also access it. So we developed this technology with a licensed partner because the regulations are really there. So we decided to partner with, right now, Otis Capital. So they are our first on-board fund managers. They help us with the investments on the other side. We offer the technology that is going to help reach the clients so that they can deposit their money. We have competitors, yes. We have Zeno. There is PiggyVest. So our value proposition is that, yes, we also offer the goal-based investments and the investment products, but we bring on board the fund managers. We have an API system that we offer for FinTechs to integrate investing into their platforms. So the API is like the thing here. Yeah, so our early adopters, we are looking at entrepreneurs and people who are well versed with let me say FinTech, but more of who are digital. Then we don't want to forget about the underserved market because, hey, everyone makes money, everyone would like to invest. Okay. Financial projections by 2026, we would like to have a minimum revenue of about
Thank you.
4 M.
All right, so you read us the problem set. Read, don't explain. Read what you have there.
Read.
Yes.
Okay. Our problem statement is to make investing more accessible for everyone, including the traditionally excluded.
Is that a problem or a solution?
It's a problem to make. Oh, the problem. I would say inaccessible.
You can put
No,
it
I
right.
just had everything like ready to go. Yes, it's. Okay, it's written but divided into 3 parts. The first is the problem of localization that I explained, that if I'm in Uganda, I cannot access investment products outside Uganda. Then the second one is regulation and compliance. This one is, it affects the FinTechs. It affects fund managers who want to offer the investment products. The third is the technology that is not so accessible at the moment and not very effective.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry,
What is the
broke it
urgent
down.
problem that you need to solve right away? What is the urgent
Right away, it is the localization.
Localization?
Yes. The localization.
What do you mean localization?
Okay, I was trying to explain. Localization, investment products are too localized. For example, should I not give the example? Okay.
You have work to do, eh?
Yeah.
Go back and be brief, precise and clear. Yeah. In about 5 lines, eh? There is one that is urgent.
Hello. This
Thank you. Before opportune, you next after financial education platform for women.
This is Team Financial Education Platform for Women. Yeah, our problem statement is the lack of financial education and empowering among women is a pressing issue that needs to be addressed. Despite the progress in gender equality, there remains a significant disparity in financial literacy and confidence among women, limiting their ability to make informed financial decisions, manage their resources effectively, and achieve long-term financial security. This knowledge gap not only hampers individual women's economic well-being, but also has
Just a moment.
broader.
I can't actually hear you because the rest are mumbling what I don't know. Stop holding your shirt. You're going to look bad in the camera too. So please give her the attention you need to be given to at the time.
This knowledge gap not only hampers individual women's economic well-being, but also has broader complications for their families and communities. A considerable portion of women lack access and comprehensive financial education tailored to their unique needs and life stages. Addressing this gender gap in financial education is crucial to empower women to make informed financial decisions, overcome economic challenges, and achieve financial independence. The proposed solution is the financial education platform offers an accessible and comprehensive online learning experience. It provides interactive content, simulations, and tools to teach budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, and retirement planning. The platform fosters practical application and financial concepts and decision-making skills. Demand. We have extensive market research indicates a strong demand for financial education platforms. Surveys and trends show women individuals and are actively seeking resources to enhance their financial literacy. While some financial education platforms exist, few offer a holistic approach with interactive tools and practical simulations. They often...
Thank you. As they work on the feedback, I can tell that you're not working as a team. I can also tell that you don't have an idea of what you're talking about there. You're only reading it. You can have a brilliant idea, teams, you can have brilliant ideas. If you fail to present the ideas, those who know how to present will go with their so-called best ideas. Sit down as a team. Think, discuss, even if you know the person who brought up the idea. Make sure you conceptualize. You cannot be coming and reading everything. Read us your problem statement again.
The lack of financial...
Why do you have to hold your jaw and eyes like that? You know? You're in front of a camera. You're on TV. People, presentation skills. Why are you holding yourself?
The lack of financial education and empowering among women is a pressing issue that needs to be addressed. Despite the progress in gender equality, there remains a significant disparity in financial literacy and confidence among women, limiting their ability to make informed financial decisions, manage their resources effectively, and achieve long-term financial security. This knowledge gap not only hampers individual women's economic well-being, but has broader complications for their families and communities.
Okay. Oh, you're still going? Okay, so thank you for that. Your problem statement is so long. It's so long. And I don't know if you feel it, or maybe if the team, if the rest can give you feedback on that. But it's too long. Try to refine it, precise to the point.
Maybe I can say like it is...
No, we shall go through that, but also as a team, sit together, refine it.
Then just to re-echo what Simon was saying, on the solution you're trying to sell. I don't know if it's clear. On the solution you're trying to sell, don't just read. Actually, people don't have a lot of time to listen to the long words some of us got from ChatGPT and pasted. So just try to own the solution. Yeah? And then my question is, I'm struggling to find the payment part. Where are you going to make the money? The payment part, the integration part with your platform for women. So maybe you can tell us a bit of that in just a short time.
It is premium subscription.
So you're giving financial literacy lessons on an e-learning platform to women. Like, as in, one, where do you make the money? Two, why can't I Google and come to your platform? Three, the same financial literacy services are already being offered in microfinance banks. You get it? So the uniqueness, value proposition. Think about it. Eh? Okay. Opportune.
Good morning, everyone. I know I have limited time, but I beg to include you a bit. What is this? This is my hand, right? I have my brain in my head. These two are intimately connected. What I do with my hand, my neural brain cells get to perfect it with time. But I could know something in my head, and I can't do it with my hand. True or false? Now, the problem currently, because I have low qualification, I don't have a degree, I have a diploma, a certificate, I'm taken for granted. I can't get a job, but I have it. I have it at my fingertips. This is the problem. People are looking at paper qualification, and that is not all that matters. We should try to discard this. People are putting in their time, they have it, but people want this. They are considering the theory, the context. So, the problem statement, I would like to read it out louder. There are very many individuals who are skilled. They have their hands-on, but because they have limited education, they don't have the degree. Some of them actually have no qualification at all. People take them for granted. I can't give you a job because you don't have papers. So, that is our problem. What is the impact of this problem? It has greatly increased on the poverty rates. As the university education is becoming more and more expensive, since people are not considering people with diplomas and degrees, poverty rates are greatly increasing. Our business case, an executive summary. Our platform offers a platform for individuals who are skilled to showcase their skill. Some of the problems these people face are limited capital and limited funds. You can show your skill, guys, I can do this, but to be honest, I don't have money. Please help me. Next, I could have started up a small business. I cannot afford to advertise Google ads. There is cost per click, YouTube cost per view. They cannot afford this. Our platform is giving them an opportunity to advertise at a cheaper cost. We only need $1.5 per advert, and you're good to go. Manage your products from there. We're not putting our hands in it. We only need $1.5, and you can continue with your business. Discover meaningful opportunities. I could have opportunities like find jobs. Our platform is giving an opportunity for people to say, guys, I need a caterer, I need this and this. within this period of time. If you can do it, please apply. These are the 3 aspects of our platform. I'll not get to the solution. For now, target audience. Our target audience, skilled individuals. With us, we are looking at your skill. And then business owners, small business startups. These are our 2 target audiences. Market opportunity. Technical and vocational institutions. We are advocates for technical and vocational institutions. There could be those who are unqualified, but they can use their hands. Small business startups, this is the aspect of the advertisation. Of course, we have competitors, very many competitors. Like I mentioned earlier, Google Ads is very big, YouTube is very big, but the advantage with us, we only need $1.5 per advert. Whereas Google Ads, there is cost per click, there is cost per mile. The number of people that see, if you want 100 people to see your advert, there is a cost per click, there is a cost. With us, you only need $1.5 per advert. We also have discovered that there is Great Jobs Uganda. But for Great Jobs Uganda, this is a platform, they advertise jobs. But for them, even before you put there your details that you want a job, there is a cost. Before even you get into the entering the forms, it's some 150,000.
Thank you.
We got to know that.
Okay, so what do you actually do?
We give a platform for individuals with hands-on skills, with challenges, limited funds, limited tools. Showcase yourself and ask for help. That's what we do.
Read the problem statement again.
There are very many individuals with good hands-on skills, but with limited educational qualifications or even no qualification at all.
So education, I'm wondering, education, because I can be educated and I use your platform. You see that?
But
so it's not a key thing to. Then the introduction, from the introduction of the hands and the brain, I straight away thought you were an e-learning system. But when you started now the other side of the skills and advertising, now I came back to, are you giving adverts on an e-learning system? So the scope is getting broad.
I was just trying to bring it out that I could, as long as I can do something constantly, my brain can master it, and then I could do it with my hands even if I don't have the qualifications.
Which is okay. I'm just saying you're trying to mix 2 things.
Can I explain? So our platform, you could have the skill and you need help. But on the other hand, there are people who have the skill and have gone ahead to start up their own business. They have a small business. That's why we're putting the skill and the advert on the same platform at the same time. You could not only just want to showcase yourself, but you could have your products and you need to promote them. That's why we're putting them together.
So you're not educating, you are giving jobs.
Giving them an opportunity to get help to start up their own business, narrowing the gap between job seekers and job creators, giving them an opportunity to market their products at a cheaper cost.
So the introduction, the action you played was a good, brilliant thinking, but it shot you off to me.
Okay. No. Okay. You have some time to go back and do some refining. Up next is still Impetix. After Impetix, we shall have workshop. Impetix.
everyone. My name is Fortunate, and I'm with Linda, and she's Daisy. So first, we're going to tell you about our problem statement. And, okay, we are the FinTech Empowerment Hub, and our target audience in the first place are women. Yeah, we're only looking at women. And our problem statement is, many women in Uganda, especially those in slums and rural areas, have limited access to financial services. And this is very evident among all of us that if at any one point you have little or no money at all on you, you're definitely going to live the most miserable life. So for us, when we tried making our research, first we did it globally, and we found out that, okay, this is according to the global report. They were telling us that women only make 21% of board members, 19% of CSU roles, and 5% of CEOs. Then in Uganda particularly, women only make 34% of entrepreneurs. I think we can all see how big that gap is between men and women. Like, it's very, very clear for us to know that women are still lagging a lot in terms of investment, in terms of finances. So what do? The services we do, or what have we come up with to empower women, to have women also have a higher stake in terms of finances? Okay, what we do is, first, we encourage women to develop a savings habit. This is how we do it. It's not something that maybe we do not make it mandatory on you that you're supposed to be saving this particular amount of money every day. What we do, we discuss with you, see how much money you can be able to raise a day, and we continue encouraging you to save that money. And with time, if you have accumulated some money, we give you incentives. Like, we give you incentives as a form of appreciation, so that you can, okay, it's like an encouragement for you to keep going. Then in the long run, if you've saved with us money, that's maybe, let's say you saved like 500,000 with us, and you want to start up, or you want to boost, maybe you have a small business on you, and you want to boost it. So what we do, yes, you already have your savings with us, but hey, this is not your money. Like, this is the FinTech Empowerment Hub money. All you can do is, you come to our platform, we can borrow you money from your own money, but we're borrowing you, you go invest it, and you pay back the money you borrowed. Like, you keep your saving culture going, you have a business running, but you also have this money with us, it's yours, but you keep on saving for future investment. So, okay, I've already told you our objective. Then the other service we offer is financial education. Financial education involves providing valuable knowledge and resources to empower women. We teach you how to manage your money. We teach you things like investment. We introduce to you to high risk and low risk investments. We explain this in broad. So long as you come in touch with us, you look out for us. We give you all the financial education you want, because we realize.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your time is up. So, what are we exactly doing?
Okay, our problem statement is, many women.
What are we exactly doing?
What we're doing is to empower women financially through encouraging them to save and giving them loans to boost their small businesses, and also giving them financial education.
So I'm hearing two things. We are empowering through asking them to save. So are you helping them save, or you doing credit financing for them to boost them up?
You know, the saving culture among people is really low, people have a greater expense.
So you're not giving them, are you giving them any money?
We are lending them off the money they have saved with us.
That's a circle. You're not credit financing them. Therefore, you're not empowering them. It is their money. You're educating them, helping them to streamline. Because empowering, you cannot empower me by keeping my money, telling me, please bring and I keep for you. When you're empowering me, by asking me, by keeping for me, you're encouraging me to save.
The money they save with us accumulates with time. It's not that if you save 500,000 with us, you're still going to have 500,000 at the end of the month. This money keeps on accumulating. Because in the first place, when people are joining, we have the registration fee. So every time
you're going to think about that. Then, you know, the lawyers say shall is different from must. You think about that. Then also the women is a broad thing, you know. We need to know who is that person that you embodied yesterday.
Okay, ladies that do not have adequate or do not have at all any access to financial services.
So if you're empowering them, then you're giving them money.
Not everyone needs to
where are they? Yes, where are you going to find these ladies?
There are people that just need to have their brain sharpened. And we do in financial education.
Okay, so there's a difference between shall and must. You get it? So you can, try to think about it, clean it up, and then we shall discuss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
Hello everyone. Just something I want to pass on. Innocent sent something on the WhatsApp group, the general WhatsApp group. Did you see his message? There are some questions, so they are calling groups. I think you see groups going out. They are calling them for some interview. So those are the questions that they will be asking. He said you can look at them so that you prepare in advance. Thank you.
Washer. After worship, if you will be ready.
This is Team Worship, Evelyn, Colin and Benjamin. Our problem statement: in Uganda, the process of locating washing beds for drivers and car owners